those vegan guys. Thank you.
Hello beautiful people, this is both a kitchen vlog and technical test all in one, because as you will by now already probably be aware, there is a green screen behind me, and I'm going to be trying to bring things into that screen whilst I talk to you. So me and Jason were having a talk last night about the seeming desperation for distraction that everybody is displaying at the moment. Totally get the protests going on around the world. The timing of them with the whole coronavirus thing is a little bit scary. Hence, I personally haven't gone to any. I'm doing my activism via YouTube, via vlogs, talking about, you may have already seen them, but I've done 2 Black Lives Matter vlogs recently, and I'll put them up there. But this morning, this very morning, when all the shops have reopened in the UK, the queues outside the shops, in particular Primark, are just huge. And it begs the question, what did you so desperately need from Primark that you couldn't wait any longer? It had to be the day the shops open that you had to go. Because everyone in the queue seems well dressed, doesn't look like they're lacking a trouser or a top or a shoe. So yeah, it just begs the question. I tell you what has been playing on my mind a lot lately is that it seems to be that the dominant thought process in human beings is, what about me? And until that changes to, what about them? And that goes across the board. When you're straight, think about it for gay people. If you're white, think about it for black people. If you're a meat eater, think about it for about vegans, about animals. What about them? It's not really that difficult a concept to grasp and to put into practice. The ability to think about other people or other creatures, to take their thoughts, feelings, lives into consideration. How must it feel to be them? But we're so saturated with, what about me? And I think I've mentioned it in one of the previous videos, but I'll say it again because it's worth repeating. Black Lives Matter doesn't mean Black Lives Matter more. It means that they haven't mattered enough. It means that they haven't mattered as much as yours. And so that's why the focus has been on BLM, Black Lives Matter. And I've already outlined why all lives matter is a stupid thing to say. And the last person I hid from the channel, because I hide all racists, homophobes, bigots, carnists, you know, anyone who's hateful towards anyone else, I just hide them. The last one this morning was, all lives matter, you soy boy. Like that's an insult, summer. It's actually a compliment. Yes, I eat soy, of course I do, I'm a vegan. But calling me a boy when I'm 51 on Wednesday, that's marvellous. Thank you, darling. Soy boy indeed. Soy boy, leftist, socialist, hippie, all of the above, so proudly. Why wouldn't I want to be any of those things? People that take other people into consideration, that care about everyone around them, who see us as a collective rather than a singular. What's not to like? And it brings to mind all the stuff about, because I may have mentioned I've been blocking a lot of people on Facebook, even family members, for sharing things like why don't we stop seeing colour, all lives matter, stop playing the race card. That is so blatantly racist. It's when you're being attacked with a race card, holding it up for other people to see isn't playing the race card, it's saying we don't want this, we don't want to hold this just because of this. And black people want you to see their colour, just like I want you to see that I am married to a man and a drag queen. They are core things. My homosexuality is a core thing about me that I cannot nor would want to change. So don't refuse to see it. When you say, I don't see sexuality, I just accept everyone. No, I need you to see my sexuality, because I need you to see the fight and the struggle people with my sexuality who fall under that LGBTQIA umbrella have had to deal with. Exactly the same with black people. They've had it much worse. Much, much worse. For hundreds of years. I only realised the other day, and I will be honest and say that I had no idea about Juneteenth. I had no idea. That's never been. And here's the thing. It's not embarrassing to say you don't know. So if you've never been taught something, or no one's ever shown you or tried to enlighten you in a certain way, that's not an embarrassing thing. I always got complimented in work because I'd always say, does anybody know what this word means? I didn't even know what ring-fenced meant in a meeting once. Well, yes, we've had some funding ring-fenced for, this was the CEO of the local NHS when I worked for the NHS. Straight away I put my hand up, because I don't care if people look at me and think, God, you didn't even know what that word meant. That makes them dicks. Makes me a decent person for actually asking, I don't know what that means, what does that mean? And being that person as well helps anyone else in the room understand what that word meant, who also didn't know but was too embarrassed to ask. I'm not too embarrassed to ask. So I didn't know about Juneteenth, and it's mine and Jason's wedding anniversary, and the day we got together 23 years ago, June the 19th, and it was the final part of the Emancipation Proclamation. It was like there'd been bits of release before that, release from slavery, and that was the kind of final official bit. Juneteenth, June the 19th. No, so I'm so honoured to share our anniversary and our wedding anniversary with such a powerful day. Kind of amazing. What do you think? So yeah, Jason and I have both been a bit down this last weekend, and it's largely been because of the news. Now, we don't want to guard ourselves from the news, because then we end up uninformed, but up our neck of the woods where I live, Daisy Nut Country Park is only a couple of miles from where we live, and it's a beautiful place, and it was one of two places where quarantine raves happened over the weekend. Thousands of people showing up to outdoor raves and leaving the place in just utter devastation, full of crap and rubbish. So not only are they all gathering together in an illegal rave during lockdown, they're also messing up a country park, a beautiful country park, and thank goodness for the Daisy Nut Country Park volunteers who pulled together and went and cleaned it all up. Shit, condoms, used tampons, somebody was raped, 3 people were stabbed. And we look around sometimes and just think, Is it time for an asteroid? Because doesn't there seem to be far more of them than us? We, the people who think about other people, who actually take other living creatures, other people, other beings into consideration. What happens with animals is horrible, right, vegan? A black man's neck was knelt on for nearly 9 minutes in the street, and he died calling for his dead mother. My goodness, to Black Lives Matter. Another black man gets shot in a car park, running away, not threatening anybody, running away because he was scared shitless. Of course, he shouldn't have been running away, but you don't shoot him for that. So yeah, it's been crazy watching this unfold, and then waiting for Monday to come, and then seeing this morning and seeing all these pictures of these queues going, like in Manchester, right round the building and round the corner, because people are so desperate to get back to normality. I couldn't want anything less. If that was the old normal, have we not taken this time to grow and evolve and to think about how COVID-19 came about, humans and animals? It's always the same. It's always the same. SARS, MERS, H1N1, all of them, because of us messing with animals. There's a huge lesson there. Just this morning, 2 articles in the Guardian. One about dairy farms, 13 or 18 dairy farms releasing as much as much emissions as the rest of the UK put together. Now, once you learn that as a fact, this is what I don't understand about humans. Once you learn that as a fact, how can you just order dairy? Consider ever buying dairy again? You already know about the cruelty. It's not anybody else's job to spoon feed you. You know about the cruelty in the dairy industry, and now you know about the environmental destruction, and that we're the only species who uses and abuses animals to take their birth milk, their breast milk. But you still want it. What about me? Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. Stop playing the race card. What about me? Dressed perfectly lovely, queuing for a mile at Primark. What about me? What about you? Like, what about you? Do you know what I mean? I'm not talking, maybe I am, maybe you are a person who doesn't believe that Black Lives Matter and keeps chanting all lives matter. So maybe this is to you. What about you? What makes you so fucking special? Who are you? See, I care about you as much as myself. I don't live in what about me land. I live in what about us? And when I'm not involved, what about them? See, I'm not being forcefully impregnated, having my baby taken away so that another species can put me on a machine to pump my breasts all day and then take the milk. I'm not. But I can see that I don't want that to happen. And it certainly won't happen with my consent. I'm not a black man living in America. I'm not a black man living in the UK. So I can only experience the persecution and the oppression secondhand. But that's enough. that's enough for me to say, okay, what about you? Let's deal with this. What about usism is what's going to fuck us all up, because it makes you live inside your own tiny bubble where only you matter, and what you want matters, and what you do and what you say matters, and there's no space to hear somebody else's opinion. And even when you do listen to someone's opinion, you're listening to respond, and that's a big thing in today. Listen to receive information and receive it. Don't listen waiting for your chance to respond. I want to respond, I want to say the thing that's on my mind, I want to say my thing now. What about me? What about me? What about us? What about this planet we all live on? What about the fact that animal agriculture is one of the biggest things destroying it? What about the fact that we've just been under lockdown for months because of humans' interactions with animals that needless, they don't need to happen. They never have needed. Well, maybe years ago when we were running around wearing, you know, the animals of skins, as Shirley Valentine says, ploughing up the earth with the arse spoon of a giraffe. Maybe then, when winter came and there were no stocks, and we lived in caves and made fire with sticks, maybe then we had to hunt and kill animals to survive, but we certainly don't now, and we haven't for a long time. We don't have to minimise ourselves to maximise someone else. Black Lives Matter massively, and right now the world is changing because of that, and it's a beautiful thing to see, and we're all doing our bit. So allow yourself to imagine what life would be like for you if, because of the colour of your skin, you were treated as less than. You were immediately a suspect just because you were walking down the street. What's he doing? What's she doing? What? You were pulled over by police much more than any of your friends because of the colour of your skin. Try to imagine how that would feel. Try to imagine how it feels being forced into the world and then living a life of slavery. Happened to black people for hundreds of years. It's happening to animals right now. What about them? What about them? So if you have the capacity for it, what about me becomes, it's still an important thing to think, because if if you're being abused or oppressed yourself, if you don't think what about me, how can you ever acknowledge that you're being abused and oppressed and get out of that? But when you're hearing somebody else's plight, what about me is just bullshit deflection. It's cognitive dissonance protecting you from thinking about the things you really don't want to think about, and you need to, because we all alright, this is a planet, but let's imagine it as a block of flats. We all have to share it. We all use the lift and the stairs, all of us. We all take our rubbish down to the basement. Somebody starts pissing in the lift, throwing their rubbish out of the bag just into the basement, spraying on the walls, white people rule. We're all going to have something to say about that. That's what's happening. Somebody on the third floor is nicking everybody's pets because they choose to eat them. They have no right to do that. That's what's happening. So yeah, I waffled quite a bit more than I thought I would there. And no doubt I will get back to my health story very soon. In fact, it might be a 2-vlog day. There might be this one and a health one. But just as a side note, back on it today, back on the Slim Fast. Please subscribe to the Vegan Queens. They're trying to do something good. They're saying, what about them? I'll link their channel up there. They're almost at 1,000 and they're doing a live Pride show this coming Sunday at 3 p.m. We'd love it if you supported them. I've waffled quite enough, and I hope that this has worked. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again very soon, and until then, please be excellent to yourselves and each other.